Hey everyone, JCS Starcraft here, bringing you Game 4 of the Craft Cup number 2 semifinals between NightEnd as the light green Protoss and Strelok as the purple Terran. Here battling it out on Kulas Ravine. Right now Strelok is up 2-1. In the last game, kind of had a good timing attack on his opponent, catching him off guard. NightEnd trying the last two games actually to go for some sort of Phoenix harassment, but just wasn't able to pull it off. We'll see what he does on this game. Strelok, of course, one of the stronger players in the beta on the Team Liquid, very active, and on the Team Liquid rankings right before beta went down, I think was number 5. Although right now, not sure if he's playing a lot of clan games or other ladder games, but on the Blizzard ladder, not super strong. I think something like 345th in the world, but still a very strong player. Not someone to be taken lightly in any way whatsoever. One of the top. NightEnd, meanwhile, for the Mortal Teamwork clan, he was a very strong Warcraft 3 player, played Undead in Warcraft 3, representing mTW, and I think the Mortal Teamwork clan now, with a lot of strong players as well, transitioning over to Starcraft 2. This probe coming in, going to do as much harassment as it possibly can, but getting chased out. Probe just trying to recharge its shield right now. Always annoying. And Strelok looks like he's going to be changing guards right there. Wants a fresh probe to deal with this. Wants a fresh SCV to deal with this probe harassment. Both players going with a very standard opening. 12 racks and 13 refinery. Looks like 12 gate and 13 is going to be my guess at that point. We'll see what kind of strategy NightEnd does here, and having that instinct to go and scout right across from him. Going to be a very interesting game. These rocks probably going to get broken down between the two expansions. Meanwhile, Strelok took a wrong guess, unfortunately, and thought his opponent might be at the southwest corner when in fact his opponent is right across from him. But I think based on the timing of that probe reaching his base, once he gets in, yep, his second guess is going to be the other corner. And so going to be getting a late scout in there, but having had played his opponent a little bit, I think has a sense to know what his opponent is up to. No Zealot coming out, going to be waiting for that Cybernetics core to drop, and possibly going for a Stalker as soon as it drops. Oh no, a Sentry on this map. Needs 2 force fields to try to choke off this part if he can. Strelok in the last game did switch to a 1-1-1, or has switched to 1-1-1, but this game I think going to be going with the barracks, double barracks as he's been going. Really favors that Marine Marauder combination. Looks like he's going to be getting he's going to be getting concussive shells and pushing out with a very small force in the beginning to try to get as much harass as possible on NightEnd. Meanwhile, NightEnd trying to pump out his units as fast as possible, knows that Strelok likes to come in for that early harass, and I think he's going to be moving out just with a handful of units. I don't know. This SCV is going to live to tell another day, but normally Strelok will send out a lone SCV, and I just really want to see that SCV live, and I think it's going to be this one. SCVs so far have been in the front of the army and just haven't done much. NightEnd now moving his probe to the other Zanaga Watchtower. I don't think that's gonna make a big difference because they're just gonna hunt him down and explosion after he's being slowed. So I'm hoping that this SCV does something this time, because normally the SCV kind of just leads the charge in or gets trapped on the ramp, and I want to see a bunker go down because you know, for me this is the same SCV every single time, and unfortunately it just seems like the SCV doesn't do much. So go SCV, go get something done in this first push. Strelok going to be pushing in. The concussive shell has been researched and going to be trying to do some harass. NightEnd not going to be choking off, instead just going to be going to try to make it as possible. The SCV goes in first and it's just among the probes running and gets fried. Poor guy. And I think Strelok now retreating. The probes are coming out, doesn't want to engage in that, would probably lose all of his units, but going to be reinforcing with 3 Marauders, and this Zealot is going to get toasted. NightEnd sees the multiple Marauders and is forced to retreat at this point. Looking back at the base of Strelok, getting his factory down, going to be getting that starport right away. Probably going to be seeing a reactor from this factory, and yes, starport going down, reactor going down as well. So we're going to be seeing a heavy MMM build from Strelok in this game as well. He seems to really favor that, but shows that in the last game that he can rush that Banshee, knows the 1-1-1 build pretty well. And meanwhile, NightEnd this time getting that Robo facility up and running. In the last game, he was scouted out. He did not have any detection, so when those Banshees ran in, he unfortunately was caught off guard and was forced to eventually GG, as those Banshees just did too much damage before he could really recover. So this Observer going out and the floating map hack just going to walk its way across the map. Going to be able to see everything that Strelok does. Strelok really with no detection, going to be using most of his energy to get the mules, get that economic advantage. Looking at the income tab right now, NightEnd slightly ahead just by 2 on the harvester count, but with those mules, Strelok going to be able to catch up and going to be floating his factory as a scouting factory. Not really going to be using it to pump any units, just kind of built it so he could get the starport. Poor factory. I guess Strelok likes to sacrifice some of his units, that SCV, to lead the charge, and this factory is just going to eat it as it's going to provide scouting and cover, absorb some damage. He might land this here, maybe tuck it away, pump out a few Hellions, and then run those Hellions in. However, probably not, because it looks like he's going to be breaking down the rocks in between and kind of just using this as the shortest distance between the two. Definitely a good move. We should see a lot of action on the map right here. Controlling this point is going to be pretty important, I think, from both players. And Strelok now perhaps just going to sacrifice it, run it all the way in. Nope, not going to do that. Decides maybe he can do something with this factory, or just doesn't want to run it all the way in, but does scout with it. Doesn't need to throw down a scan, and is able to scout with a building that he doesn't really want to use anyways. This army looking pretty decent for Strelok, and 70 over 58. Right now, it looks like NightEnd was a little bit supply blocked. Once that piling goes down, we'll be pumping up more units. And in the production tab right now, we see Sidestorm being researched. So great timing from Strelok, really pushing in right before that Sidestorm is researched, and has, I don't know if it's, I don't think it's like, I actually think it's a pretty just good sense of the timing right now. We are at the 10-minute game marker, and Sidestorm finally getting researched. NightEnd holding off just long enough for that Sidestorm to go down. Will it be enough this time? With the 4 medvacs up in the air, Strelok retreating, getting a little bit of recharge going on. No more Sidestorms. It looks like not enough energy for NightEnd to really push in, but both players just kind of biding time, recharging both of their sides. NightEnd going to be favoring that heavy Zealot Templar build again, and it looks like Strelok is going to be getting his ghosts while research is being done to get speed on the Zealots right now. And units going down, scans going down, probably get rid of an observer that was stalking them, that he kind of saw that ghostly thing in the air. Strelok has taken the gold expansion. Good move by Strelok for this particular placement on the map. I think these natural expansions are going to be really tough to hold, as you can get harassed on the cliffs. Your opponent is right there, and the rocks are already broken. So running ahead and taking out that gold expansion, NightEnd doesn't know that he has that at all, so going to be at an economic disadvantage for the early part of this game. Now just throwing down, getting his expansion, and opting to take it here. I'm not sure if this is going to be the best idea. I think he feels confident that he can hold it off, but this is just going to be prone to so much harassment from both sides. Siege tanks up here are just going to be a lot of trouble for NightEnd to deal with. And right now, Strelok, I think, running around, maybe thinking about going down on coming up from below. So changing these up, has his factory here, so he is able to scout if any movement comes up there and move his units accordingly. Combat shield already researched for those units, and right now both sides just kind of bulking up their forces. It looks like NightEnd has caught up and is about to move in too. So big battle about to go down at the choke. NightEnd running up his zealots into the ramp. Not entirely sure why, but oh, EMP going down. And feedback going down on the ghost, so only one EMP was able to drop, but a lot of the zealots were clumped together and just kind of ate that EMP. Their shields are going down. Strelok going to use that advantage of the EMP as much as possible. Going to charge in with his units and start kiting with his marines as much as possible. And zealots are falling pretty quickly after they've EMP, but great force field by NightEnd, able to kind of push them back. And oh, bad. Great job by NightEnd. That Sidestorm the units pretty much ate everything because they couldn't run anywhere in time and kind of were choked off by those force fields. So seems like a pretty, unfortunately, even though it seemed like it was a decent exchange, NightEnd was able to hold it off. Strelok came out significantly ahead right there. Now the farm count 99 over 77. So NightEnd unable to mine at his expansion, while his opponent has the gold expansion now, is going to have to come up with some really clever, some really well-placed side storms right now to really kind of pull ahead. I think this is going to be his army composition for the rest of the game, and we'll see whether or not he can pull it off. Right now Strelok just kind of waiting for his reinforcements to come in. Taking a look at the unit count right now, 3 ghosts, 21 marines, and 8 medvacs in the air for Strelok. And on NightEnd's side, 19 zealots on the field with the speed upgrade and only 3 high templars, although he is researching the Caradian amulet, which will give his templars the ability to throw down a side storm as soon as they are summoned. One of probably the best things to research for your Templar, because you can just immediately throw down a side storm. And right now though, NightEnd has still not scouted that gold expansion. I think has to spend too much time trying to protect this one right here. Very vulnerable to any incoming attack on this. Would love to see maybe trying to get that scout out. I just don't think his opponent has taken that. I'm not even. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty confident he has scouted. Oh, this ghost is getting caught off guard right now and trying to snipe away at the Templars, but unable to do so. Looking at the food count, NightEnd is not catching back up at this point. Both of them massing about the same, and this could be problematic for NightEnd. I think he wants to go in and make a push if he can. A lot of units out on the field right now. Oh, Sidestorm just going down. Great. Sidestorm that's getting his units out as much as possible. All the units are balled up right now, so EMP going down. That Templar unable to Sidestorm, and here comes a battle. Does NightEnd really want to push in at this point? A tank is out on the field for Strelok. Sidestorm just dropping the units very, very quickly, and unfortunately, that was just a well-placed Sidestorm by NightEnd. More well-placed Sidestorms. Strelok isn't really moving his units away, just absorbing all that damage, and now it looks like with some great micro from NightEnd, he is pushing ahead right now. Can't really see under this medvac army how many units are out on the field. Siege is going down, but these Archons are going to be able to absorb a good amount of that before they pop. And will they be able to take out the Siege Tank? Siege Tank does go down. Does Strelok now, who was up 120 to 100, unfortunately losing a ton of his units in that battle. NightEnd does have a few units in the base, but possibly not as this Archon about to die. Doesn't have that much power left at all, and gonna pop pretty soon. Mostly just high templates on the field right now. Strelok still with a decent, has had an economic advantage at this point, but without those constant mules, looks like he might not be able to keep up with NightEnd. So NightEnd has evened things out, and at this point, I think the game is kind of reset a little bit too. So chrono boosting his warp gates. Well, a great job from NightEnd to keep reinforcing and getting that reinforcement out as soon as possible, trying to outproduce his opponent. And right now it looks like Strelok not expecting the attack. A great timing from NightEnd, chrono boosting those warp gates, getting as many units in as much as possible. These units getting caught off guard for Strelok. So, oh no, this factory is going to fall right now, and those Siege Tanks will not be able to come out anymore. This Ghost, I don't know what this Ghost is doing, just getting, maybe trying to pull off and just throw an EMP down, but things not looking good for Strelok at this point. He was caught a little out of position while his units were trying to blast away at the rocks, and I think this is going to be a GG from Strelok pretty soon, unfortunately. Too many units in the base, way too many zealots to really deal with, and all his structures are falling right now. GG from Strelok. So great job from NightEnd to a lot of well-timed side storms going down. My voice, I need a drink of water soon, and even getting that Immortal out soon to deal with any tanks that weren't going to come out because that thing exploded. Great freeze frame explosion right here, and even though Strelok had the economic advantage and is playing as Terran, which some consider imbalanced, NightEnd does a great job coming in, raining that side storm down. So great job. NightEnd ties it 2-2, and we go to the ace match of the semifinals Craft Cup. This has been JCS.